Hello, Yoda Tech and otherwise. This is Chef Yoda 4x4. I'm doing a little, fully done installation tutorial on the XK Glow 18 pod rock light kit. They can call it whatever they want. It's basically, motorcycles, whatever you want. You can use them anywhere. So I like these lights because they're waterproof. They are pretty durable. They're small. They're light. So being small, I can tuck them up into very small locations. So I'll give you an idea. I have pretty big hands, but there's my pinky. It's smaller than the last segment of my pinky. So, okay. First thing you want to do with any kit is check all the lights, make sure they work. All right. So I've done that. I made sure. A lot of people I've heard get like 25 of them or more, but I've never heard of anyone getting shorted by them. So the kit is complete. This looks like they gave me a cover as well for that relay module to run the wires out of, to make it more waterproof. They give you a fuse holder, 4 feet of wire. It's very insufficient for, where I need like 20 feet on each side to run the primary pairs of wires, red and black, whatever color you want for hot and ground. Okay, so this is the number of the kit, XK061002. All right. Like I said, check, make sure all the lights work. The kit that I got, the 18 pod, you don't have to, I believe, get this, but it does come, if you want, with a remote. Okay. It's very small, as you can see. All right. And I can keep it on my keychain on trips, or just keep it in the, hanging in the cab or in my little cubby thing I'll show you. But anyway, for now, another thing you want to do is, after you check all of them work, make sure your relay module works. This here is the relay module. I ran my ground to the firewall pinch weld below the hinge, and with a stainless bolt nut lock washer, and heat shrunk it, and didn't add any wire at all. I ran it clean straight to there from the relay module, so there's no connectors, no soldering, nothing right there, except I did solder the connector, the hoop connector, to the wire. They provide solder, so I crimped it and then I heated it so it would melt the solder into that portion of the connector. So that's my ground. Then I run the power. It's a little cluttered here because I'm doing a test, but the white wire is the primary power to the relay. Ground is to the relay. The white one I ran to my auxiliary fuse block from Blue Sea. I'm running right now just a 7.5 amp. I figured when you can go up to 75 lights and only run an 8 amp draw, you want to double, I guess. So I went with 7.5, considering that should be a good, double for 3.5 or so, which is probably what it draws at the very most for all 18 lights. So there's my power to the relay, ground for the relay. Yellow and red wires coming off of this relay are the, red is the hot, yellow is the ground. So that's pretty good indicators, where you're going. I'm going to run larger wire than it recommends, 14, because I'm going to, all the way to the back of a 4Runner, which is fairly long. First gen 4Runner. Okay. And basically from here, I'll just do the rest of this on the demonstration of how it works. These are all my amp wires and auxiliary power. I have auxiliary power outlets that I run hot to keep them out of the dome circuit or anything like that, so that I can use them anytime and they're not drawing. Like Ray, thank you, Rad 4Runner on Yoda Tech, reminded me, keep it out of the circuits of the fusible link and so forth, anything that feeds power to the chassis, electrical or otherwise, because you're just cluttering everything. So yesterday I installed this. This is just to give an idea to Ray, again, that it's facing the right way. Okay, so, and I ran a dual post for each terminal, and it's very clear of everything. And I've designed a cover that I'm going to use to cover this post as well, so that it's, you know, it's a little more weatherproof. But I got a actual bronze post with a lock nut and washer, stainless, that goes on the end. They give you plenty of room, really, to get it on there. That's about all I can get is 3 large hoop built-in terminal. One of them's not, and then, or 2 of them are not. This is my primary power to the fusible link box, so I used a 10 gauge, which I replaced to my box and kept the existing fusible link wire. So I cut it before the fusible link and ran the rest of it, because the original one is 10 as well, up to the thing. Alright, so this is the new battery. This is my rusty fold down that everyone was commenting on. I'm going to get to that. I have to, as you can see, it's not exactly the same width, so I'm going to modify this with a bracket that comes up underneath and bolts to this and then comes over this. Alright, so this kit comes with, like I said, a remote control with 4 selections. It's really 3 and an, you know, and an off, which is D. That took me a minute to figure out, because I was trying to find, you don't have to use a switch, by the way, to operate this system, if you're going to have the remote control. If you're going to have a remote, if you're not going to have a remote control and you're going to use a switch, I mean, if you're not going to have the remote control, you're going to need the switch, for sure, in your dash. I didn't want a lighted switch, and yet I'm trying to keep all the switches the same as the other one, which I'll show in another video. Okay, so I ran 2 wires. The green is the hot, and the yellow is the ground. Kind of similar. I don't have a red one to demonstrate with, so for power. So I'm going to run this here really quick to do a demonstration and show you how they work, how the remote works. This, obviously, is on, which makes sense. That's the primary on, and you have on, and it's very bright. They're pretty darn bright for little pods. You have on, and then you can select a dimming up to 3. So there's high, 2, 3, 4 actually, and then high. Okay, so you have 4 different selections. B is the strobe, which I really don't. I could care less about that. I don't plan to strobe anything, but you can. You know, I'm not like pimping out at the mall, or this is really strictly for 4-wheel driving. And but you know, I guess it could be a good warning, or hey, help me, I'm over here. And there's several different selections. So if I select this strobe, they all flash like this. If I select the second one, blip 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 blip, does the double blip thing there. That basically goes from 1 to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Whatever is the next down the line. So it's probably going by resistance or something like that. It'll basically go like my sound effects. Excuse me. And it's going to basically go around and strobe around the whole car. Okay? Like I said, I could care less about that. Okay, that's the strobe effects. There's the faster one, where it goes 4 and then 2, and then 4 and then 2. Okay. There's a bunch of different ones here that I can hold. And then I can just go back to on. Okay. Dim, dim, back on to high. Okay. C is the breathe function, which actually goes from dim to hot all the way. All the way on, all the way to the lowest point it can go. Okay? Which it goes quite low, but not off. Okay? D, which it took me a minute to figure out because I thought it was a setting, is off. Okay? So this is my remote. I don't need a switch. I close this up, I hang it in the car. When I'm on trips, I can clip this onto my keychain. It's very small. You can see next to my thumb. Alright, so very small. I've been beating my fingertips with frickin' hammers and stuff. Sorry about that. So it's very small. And that's a bonus, I think. And this stays secure once you click it up. And it's got a little dimple here for where your thumb goes. I don't know, whatever. It feels very securely built, and with a chrome ring and hardened plastic on either side. It's supposed to be waterproof, I guess. I don't know about that, but I'm not going to go swimming with it. So on, strobe, breathe, and off, and I'm good to go. So I've got this ready. I'm going to run the lights to their locations that I've chosen. I'm going to probably have to adjust that a little bit. So before I secure them permanently, clean up everything really well, because this comes with adhesive. This module, I'm going to do it up here in the corner as far as I can, without the wire kind of pulling on it, and that way it will be out of the way. And I will run those wires, red and yellow, down here, and then along the pinch right here to the front, and then to the back. So I'll go around and down that back side. So I'll run my 3 up front, 6 on either side, 6, probably 4 along the slider, and 1 up in here somewhere or in the front. I don't think I need it. I think 3 up front here, in the middle, and on the other end will be plenty to light the front of the tire. So I could just keep 6 in the center. I've thought about doing 4 off the slider, or 5 on each slider, and then run 2 rock lights in the center. So they're lighting really well the undercarriage and transfer case and so forth. So that's it as far as this. So I wanted to also test this as far as distance and see how far it works. So try and get it to where we can see it. Jeesh, these things never cooperate, right? Let's try that. Alright, so we'll got a little bit of blinding sun here. We've got to say where the campfire is. It's on. It's off. Okay, so I'll go a little further to the street. It's on. So I can dim it all the way. Or off. Alright, so it works a good distance away. I'm about 30 feet away. I'm sure it works further. So that means it's a decent relay module and for the remote, and it works just fine. So I guess if you're going to use a switch, I'd have to read up on that. But you probably have to press the switch, you know, a 3rd time, or go through all the cycles to get it off. I really don't know how that would work. I guess maybe they just go on and off without this remote. And if you want the strobe and all that stuff, you got to get the remote. Alright, so I thought it was a good deal, and so I went for it. Here we go.